one time my mate, we got into a piss war at a party. That's the long story, I guess. But the reason why I drank my piss is because it was about the 5th retaliation back. I think. Oh, I'm really not proud of this night at all. So what happened was we bought this kiddies like pool. Plastic pool to a party once. It was like a summer party, and we wanted, as a joke, this person didn't have a pool in their backyard, so we're like, oh, let's make it a pool party. So we just bought BYO'd our own pool. Year 9, pretty funny gag. You know, I was always doing some pretty classic bits. You know, and we were in sombreros, and we're dressed like we're at the cricket. And we're sitting in our pool, you know, having a fucking Kirks because I didn't drink, you know, until I was 18. Yeah, and we thought it was hilarious. And then my mate left the pool. And I was like, oh, man, I really need a piss. And then my other mate, and then this is back in the day, and I'm not proud of a lot of stuff I did back in the day. I used to be what is widely known as a fuckhead. And my mate goes, you should piss in the pool and don't tell Stefan when he comes back. And I copped out of the pool, quickly took a piss in the pool because we're like in the side area of the party. It's not like I just got my dick out in front of everyone. Yeah. And then came back and all the guys knew I'd pissed in it. He sat in it and we let him sit in it for about 15 minutes.
You guys are fucking awesome.
It's such a good one. I think all the guys listening will be like, that sounds like a fucking classic, Luke. That sounds like a rip snorter of a gag. Anyway, so then someone eventually tells him, he understandably gets pissed. His second retaliation was he then walks up behind me later on. I kind of forget about it. An hour later, he walks up with the pool water that I've pissed in and tips it all over me. So now I'm covered in my own piss. And then that was when it got real. And then I think then the next thing, I don't want to continue the story. It gets way more immature.
Continue.
There was water balloons at the party. And I had the bright idea, what about if we all pissed in a water balloon and threw it? And
poor Stefan.
Well, he poured piss over me.
You started it.
Yeah.
With your piss.
Hey, mate, do I look like a fucking quitter to you?
It wasn't even his piss. It was your piss. So far, Stefan hasn't pissed in anything at all. He hasn't thrown any piss at you.
At this stage, look at the facts. I was more covered in piss than he was. And I'm not no bitch. I was like,
you were covered in your own piss.
I even got, I'm not going to say his name. Oh, I will. No, I was going to say his first name. Do you know my friend Rob, who's really nice? Yeah. Like really nice. Would never say a bad word to anyone. Yeah, and he's like the nicest guy I've ever met. I got him to piss in a water balloon. Like this is how savage it got. Anyway, so we all pissed in the water balloon. A couple popped and that was worse for myself. That backfired a lot.
Fuck, how much piss do you need to pop a water balloon?
By the end of this will forever go down as easily the most immature night of my life. Like, and it's talked about a lot in the friendship group as remember the piss war in year 9.
Yes.
Anyway, by this point, a few people at the party had picked up on what we were up to, and obviously the girls were not impressed.
No.
The guys were rallying hard around this war that was happening.
So wait, was it everyone v Stefan who still has yet to...
Maybe I've skipped a bit. There was some reason as to why everyone was on my side. I think he did something pretty fucking dog.
Right.
I feel like maybe I've skipped over a bit because it sounds harsh.
It sounds harsh.
To start throwing piss water bombs at your friend.
So, yeah, when he hasn't pissed in anything yet.
The details are very foggy at this stage, but I think I was heavily provoked because I remember like 5 of my mates helping me and also going, I've pissed in one, all right, I'm all tied up, and they gave it to me and they were warm. It was gross. Anyway, so we threw them. He's pretty pissed at this point. And then his final retaliation was I had a drink in a can of Coke. And I think this is when everyone started to turn on me because I think they realized I took it a bit far. Then they all jumped on his side and someone gave him the idea, end this and piss in his drink. And he just pissed in my drink and everyone and they just didn't tell me and I had it sitting there. I was nursing it for a bit and then I just went whack and I went and all the guys' faces changed and they went And I was like, oh, it was like one of those moments like how the tables have turned, and I have my mate's piss in my mouth. I just spat it everywhere, and I was freaking out, and I went and munted in the bush, and then I think he still won that night because I think my retaliation was. I don't want to say this one. Oh, look, we'll lose Patreon supporters if I finish this story.
What?
At this stage, my footy shorts were wet and ruined, and don't worry, I threw them in the bin afterwards. One again, this is really.
Don't say you took a shit in it.
I did one less. I de-panted at the party because I think I bought spare shorts because the pool party's thing,
yes.
And again, guys, I cannot stress. I was like 14, 15.
It's no excuse.
And these were, I really matured a lot when I was like 17, 18. I was a fucking idiot. I was a fucking idiot.
You're still immature.
No, I still find it funny, but I wouldn't do it now. That's the difference. And then I pissed on my shorts and slapped him across the face with my piss shorts.
Yeah, look. You're fucking young. You're fucking young. No.
And then my dad drove us both home. And then we're still like best friends. Like this whole point, that's the thing. The whole night, it was never like a malicious thing.
No.
Like,
no.
Except for the bit where I drank his piss. I was pretty annoyed about that. The whole night, it was still like above the surface level of all everyone going, seems pretty fun. But looking back on it now, very mature, and it's something I'm not proud of, guys. So I don't want you to judge me on that. That's past Luke. New Luke would just tell his friend to piss.
I'm 100% judging you hard still.